Alright everyone, welcome back to some more Umineko. The slow build-up is starting to pay off everyone, because now something is coming and I am looking forward to seeing how it all pans out, because as I've been saying prior, like, this game is all about like building tension and also laying the foundation. So I'm looking forward to like how everything unravels, and we're about to see it soon. So if anything else, hope you all continue to enjoy. Let's get right back into it. Alright everyone, welcome back again. Where we last left off, and Maria was still outside in the typhoon trying to find her wilted rose. And if she was ordered to find something that didn't exist, she would look forever and ever. Even if rain was pouring down.
違うわ。いとこの子たちは先に行ってしまったから、あそこにはマリア一人。あの子は誰かにもうやめろと言われない限り、たとえ槍が降ってこようとあそこに居続けるわ。
Oh, she even believes in that saying too, if spears fell down from the skies.
傘もささずに。私は感情に任せてなんてことを。
As her mother, she had known about Maria's foolish straightforwardness better than anyone, yet she had once again lost control of her emotions and done such a horrible thing.
Maria!
Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hallway. The outside really looked like a typhoon and was pouring down magnificently. Maybe because of some figure of the terrain, the winds were not as strong as the typhoon, so an umbrella wouldn't be torn off one's hands. Even so, it was enough to call it a storm. There was no time to admire the roses being soaked by the rain.
とりあえず、今はマリアが気になるぜ。まさかあの後も、ずっと一人でへそ曲げて、あそこ。
そうだね。さすがにこの雨じゃ、と思いたいところだけど、マリアちゃんはたまにすごく頑固で、ものすごく愚直な時がある。
We hadn't worried much, thinking that Auntie Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. However, it was concerning that Kanon-kun had thought that Maria was here when he came from the mansion to call us.
お屋敷ではお見かけしませんでしたので、てっきりこちらにおられるとばかり。ローザ様は仮眠を取られておいででしたので。
ここに来る途中に見かけなかったのかよ。
申し訳ございません。傘を差し、急ぎ駆け抜けたもので、そこまでの注意を払いませんでした。
If he had cut through the rose garden on the shortest line between the mansion and this guest house, then he would have missed the place where Maria had been looking for her rose by a little. And it was raining this hard too. There was a good chance that Kanon-kun had failed to notice her.
ここで議論するより、直接確かめる方が早いさ。兄貴、ちょいとかけっこと行こうじゃねえかよ。
6年成長したから僕に勝てるつもりかい？よし、決着をつけようじゃないか。行こう。
George, Aniki, and I flew out into the rain. Jessica and Kanon-kun followed us.
マリア！いるなら返事をしなさい！マリア！
ローザおばさんだ。おばさん！
When George Aniki called back, Auntie Rosa flew at him and almost mounted to attack him.
マリアはどこ？ジョージ君たちと一緒じゃないの？
いえ、僕たちはあの後、マリアちゃんには出会ってません。
6 years ago, Maria had been 3 years old. She had been a cute and pure kid who would just accept whatever anyone said. But 6 years had passed since then. She was 9 now, and experiencing the good and the bad parts of life should have taught her something. And yet she's still just as innocent and pure as she used to be.
Maria!
As I circled the rose bed, something white unexpectedly turned to face me. There was a white umbrella. Maria, holding a white umbrella, was crouching, still searching for the rose. At least she was smart enough to have an umbrella. Her face, which had turned bright red from her crying her eyes out, was dirty with water and mud. It was truly a pitiful sight.
お前、まだ探してたのか。
見つからない。マリアのバラ見つからない。
Maria had probably been here since the rain had started pouring down. It looked like her shoulders were freezing. She looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding an umbrella, she was not completely soaked. There's probably an umbrella from the handbag that Maria was always walking around with. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness.
バトラ君、よかった。見つけたんだね。
ごめんなさい。本当にごめんなさい。
Auntie Rosa threw her own umbrella away and hugged Maria.
ない。マリアのバラがない。
後でママも一緒に探してあげるからね。だから今日はお預けにしなさいね。
今日はお預け。
It looked like Maria still wasn't able to accept it, but she no longer had enough energy left to resist. Jessica and Kanonkun caught up with us.
すぐにお屋敷でタオルの用意をさせましょう。
マリア、ずっとここにいたのか。ごめんね。本当に悪いママでごめんね。
ローザおばさん、とりあえずお屋敷に行きましょう。このままじゃマリアちゃん風邪をひいちゃう。
そうね。マリア、行きましょう。ちゃんときれいにしないとおじい様に怒られちゃうわよ。
お腹すいた。
もう食事の時間だぜ。マリアはよく頑張ったよ。天気が良くなったら私たちも一緒に探してやるから。
We couldn't stay in the rain forever. We took Maria with us as we headed back to the mansion. Maria apparently wasn't as weak as I had thought. When she remembered that dinner was calf steak, she started chanting, "I'm hungry, hungry, ooh, ooh," and returned to her usual healthy self. Auntie Rosa didn't chide Maria on her ooh ooh.
そっか、傘を持っていたのか。さすがマリアは物持ちがいいぜ。
マリア、傘なんか持ってない。
なんだよ。じゃあその手に持ってる白い傘はどうしたんだよ。
貸してもらった。
From who? It seemed that some caring person had brought her an umbrella. A normal girl would look for shelter once it started raining, but there was no way Maria's stubbornness would be broken by something like that. So maybe that person gave up recommending that she find shelter and at least brought an umbrella for her.
そう、その人にお礼を言わないとね。誰？
ベアトリーチェ。
Ah, I knew it! I knew it! Oh! The name that Maria mentioned very happily was that of the island's witch. Rosie took a deep breath and asked again, trying to avoid hurting Maria's feelings now that she was happy.
そう、よかったわね。それで誰なの？傘を持ってきてくれた人は。
ベアト、
Maria, who quickly picked up that her mother didn't believe her, made an angry face once again. So Rosa stopped pursuing the subject. It looked like it would be faster to ask the person who had lent Maria the umbrella during dinner rather than ask Maria herself.
お父さん、せめて晩餐にだけは出席してください。これでは親族会議になりません。
Along with a dull pounding on the door, the sound of Crassus' entreaty could be heard. However, that voice seemed to harbor a sense of resignation that its sound would not reach its intended ears.
金蔵さん、せめて夕食くらいは出んかね。あんたの顔を見ようと息子さんたちが集まってきてるんじゃないか。
黙れ南條。ビショップが聞かぬか。 言って足りぬ。
Apparently, Kinzo was completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match with Nanjo. His brow wrinkled. He continued to glare at the game board through his spectacles. Krause's voice didn't reach his ears.
金蔵さん、私も腹が減った。下に降りて食事をせんか。
ならばお前だけで行くといい。私はもうしばらくこの一手を吟味させてもらうぞ。今夜で決着をつけてやる。さもなくば、お前との決着は金輪際つけられそうにないからな。
Nanjo stood from his seat, hoping that would prompt Kinzo to do the same, but Kinzo's eyes never left the chessboard. He knew well that Kinzo always displayed a blind concentration when it came to chess, but he had never seen Kinzo as focused as he was now. He was acting almost as though, just as he had said, if the game wasn't finished tonight, there would never be another chance for them to continue their contest. Further attempts to persistently call him would surely not reach his heart. Nanjo gave up and headed to the door that Krause was still banging on. The door to the study opened. Krause took a step back. Surely Kinzo hadn't actually come out. But it was Nanjo who stood at the door. Krause breathed a sigh of relief.
南條先生、親父殿は。
お役に立てなくて申し訳ございませんな。今や金蔵さんの世界はこの部屋だけです。
Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Krause raised his fist once more and banged on the door, shouting,
お父さん、聞こえますか？私たちは下へおりますが、気が向かれたらいつでもおいでください。息子兄弟一同、ずっとお待ちしておりますよ。
The voice was very loud and the door was being noisily pounded on. There was no way that it wouldn't reach Kinzo's ears. It was reaching him. However, he was ignoring it anyway. However, unlike the time he was being called down for lunch, he did not get into a rage. Kinzo was now simply calm at heart, and it was almost as though he had attained peace by turning himself over to fate.
晩餐にも息子たちの顔にも興味はない。私がここを出るのはベアトリーチが蘇る時か、私が鍵の生贄に選ばれた時だけだ。もう悪魔のルーレットは回っている。今さら晩餐に何の意味があろう。
As though the painfully loud banging on the door had completely failed to enter his hearing, Kinzo, in a state of total peace, silently thought about his next chess move. Just as always, Kinzo was the only one missing from the dining hall. Krause, wearing a bitter smile, returned with Nanjo.
親父殿は相変わらずご気分が優れられないそうだ。年に一度の親族が集まるこの機会に同席できないことを非常に残念がられておられた。
Eva and Rudolph snickered. Judging by Kinzo's character, he didn't regret it at all. And none of his relatives regretted that he hadn't appeared either.
ではディナーを始めようじゃないか。ゴーダ、始めたまえ。
かしこまりました。それでは始めさせていただきます。
Upon finally being told to begin the family conference dinner, his highlight scene for the whole year, Goda nodded, grinning broadly.
マリアに傘を貸してくれた人は誰かしら？
She's been telling you, Rosa, it's the evil witch. Possibly evil, we don't know what she's capable of yet. When Rosa timidly cut through the silence in the dining hall, everyone there turned their attention to her at once.
傘？何の話？さっきマリアがバラ庭園にいた時に雨が降り出して、誰かに白い傘を借りたみたいなんだけど、お礼が言いたくて。
俺たちじゃねえぜ。ローザが出てった後は部屋を移してずっと仲良くおしゃべりをしてたからな。
はは、そうやで。あの後も兄弟で仲良くおしゃべりをしとったのや。
The word friendly fell awkwardly from Hideyoshi's lips, so that even those that hadn't been there realized that it had been a pleasant conversation.
少なくとも私とエヴァとルドルフと、あと秀吉さんとキリエさんではないことも確かだがね。
私たちは夏日姉さんとローザさんが出て行った後もずっと一緒だったわ。食事の時間までずっとね。
兄さんは源氏さんと一緒にお父様を呼びに上の書斎へ。私たちはそのまま食堂へ直行したもの。だから私たちではないわね。傘を貸すなんて親切、使用人の誰かじゃないの？
じゃあ、合田さん？
私はずっと厨房で準備をしておりましたもので、申し訳ございません。
Goda looked slightly disappointed about missing this chance to show off. At the time, Shannon and Kumasawa-san appeared, pushing a serving cart loaded with hors d'oeuvres. I'm trying to remember how to pronounce that.
じゃあ、熊沢さんかシャノンちゃんかしら。
はい。何か粗相がございましたでしょうか？
Shannon shrunk, mistakenly thinking that she was being accused of making some error, having come part way.
違うよ。マリアちゃんがバラ庭園に一人でいた時に雨が降ってきてね。誰かが傘を貸してくれたんだよ。ローザおばさんがその人にお礼を言いたいって言うのさ。
ああ、ベアトリーチェ。
Maria, her mouth a thin line, said the witch's name in a small voice. Auntie Rosa explained the situation one more time. As she did, Kumasawa-san cackled.
私たちでもございませんよ。私もシャノンさんも一緒にお部屋の準備をしておりましたから、お外には出ておりません。
はい。気が利かなくてすみません。
部屋の準備とは何のことかね？
この雨ですから、客人の皆さんがゲストハウスにお帰りになられるのも大変かと思って、使用人たちに屋敷内の客室の準備をするように命じたのです。あら、気が利くじゃない？そうね。この雨の中、表に追い出すのは失礼だものね。
もう予算か。
はい。奥様からそのようにご指示を受けまして、私と熊沢さんとカノン君の3人で準備をしておりました。そして、ご夕食の時間になり、源氏様からゲストハウスのお子様方をお呼びするようご指示をいただいたため、カノン君が言ってくれたのです。
ええ。ですから、カノンさんがゲストハウスに行かれるときに、マリアさんを見つけて、傘をお渡ししたのではありませんか？
ほー、違う
The person who had actually received the umbrella denied it. Rosa was troubled. All she wanted to do was give word of thanks to the person who had lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find them. And she had thought that asking like this would everyone gather for dinner would work immediately.
じゃあ、夏日姉さん？
ごめんなさい。私は皆さんとの仲良くの語らいの後、頭痛がひどかったので、自分の部屋で休んでいました。ですから、表へは出ていません。
なら、誰なの？ジョージ君たち？なわけないわよね。
いえ、僕たちじゃありません。僕たちはずっとゲストハウスでテレビを見てました。
むしろ私たちは、マリアはおばさんと一緒に屋敷に行ったとばかり。
そこへカノン君が来て、マリアは一緒じゃないのかと聞いたんで、初めて屋敷にはいないのかって分かったんだよ。第一俺だったら、傘を貸すより先に、手引っ張って屋根の下に連れて行くぜ。
Rosa was completely baffled. One by one, the relatives and servants were claiming that it wasn't them, even though it really wasn't something anyone would need to hide. With that, by process of elimination, the number of people it could have been wasn't large.
もちろん、私でもありませんな。雨が降り始めてすぐの頃、金蔵さんの部屋を訪ねて、ついさっきまで一緒にチェスをしておりました。
Well, if it's not Ginzo, then it's pretty much apparent that it's Beatrice.
ということは、おじい様でもないよね。
なんだなんだ、妙な話になってきたぜ。あと残るのは誰だ？
じゃあ、誰？ 源氏さん？
Genji, sorry, Ginzo.
ちょっと待って。勘違いしないでくれる？別に、私は何かの犯人探しをしてるんじゃないのよ。雨の中のマリアに傘を差し伸べてくれた人に、母としてお礼が言いたいだけなの。
Giving an umbrella to a girl loitering in the rain was something to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why? Everyone started whispering about how strange this had gotten.
落ち着けよ、ローザ。傘を借りた本人に聞けばいいじゃねえか。
An idea that everyone would agree makes sense. They were all scratching their head at why she didn't just ask Maria, who had been given the umbrella. However, Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew how Maria would answer if asked.
道理や。ルドルフ君の言う通りやないか。マリアちゃん、おじさんに教えてえな。マリアちゃんに傘を貸してくれたのは誰や？
ベアトリーチェ。
The dining hall was wrapped in silence for an instant, but that soon broke and it was wrapped in laughter.
なるほど。森の魔女ベアトリーチェが不憫に思って傘を貸してくれたか。いい話じゃないかね。ローザ、そういうことだ。
Rosa didn't seem satisfied. She just wanted to say thanks for the umbrella. Why did everything have to be so clouded in smoke?
クラースおじさんの言う通り、ベアトリーチェが貸してくれたの。
それはよかった。無垢だというのは実に羨ましいことではないか。
It's gonna suck for you when you see her.
なあ、諸君。
Kraus was laughing with a face that was clearly mocking her, but Maria, apparently feeling that her claim was being believed, was overjoyed.
一体どうなってんの？まさか本当に魔女が現れて傘を貸したってのかよ。
Jessica asked me in a small voice that I wouldn't carry over to Maria, who was sitting across from me. Well, I mean, her portrait is in the house for everyone to see, so she knows what she looks like, so she can't possibly lie about it being anyone else other than her, so...
マリアって、冗談が言えるタイプだっけ？
If we had heard that kind of story pop out of the old bastard's mouth, we'd have just taken it as another joke. However, coming from Maria's mouth, it became somewhat inexplicable, strangely unsettling.
いや、昔から愚直なぐらい正直で真面目だよ。普通なら聞いただけで嘘とわかるような冗談すら鵜呑みにするタイプだぜ。マリアから冗談を言い出すなんて聞いたこともない。
She seems very earnest in believing it was her anyway, so, yep, it's her. I don't know what she's planning, but it's coming soon. Auntie Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared that because of this weird situation, she had no idea what was going on anymore.
じゃあ、マリアがベアトリーチェに傘を借りたと言ったなら、それは間違いなくベアトリーチェなのか。
マリアに関してだけは何かの比喩とか冗談とかそういうことは考えられねえぜ。額面通りの意味だと思うべきだろうよ。
じゃあなんだよ。源氏さんあたりがあの肖像画のごついドレスを着てマリアに傘を持って行ってやったっていうのか？
そんなことは知らねえぜ。私が聞きたいくらいさ。
Jessica shrugged jokingly, but her expression wasn't completely joking. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out and Goda showed off his vast store of knowledge, the meal began. A couple casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant. It was a quiet dinner, granting no respite from the intrusive sound of rain that was creeping into the dining hall. Kumasawa and Shannon pushing the serving cart ran into Genji and Kanon on their way to the kitchen.
源氏さんですか？マリア様に傘を貸されたのは。
傘？何のことだ？
はい。雨が降り出した時に、マリア様は一人でバラ庭園におられたそうで、そこで、どなたかに傘をお借りになったそうなのですが、それがどなたかわからないのです。
You know, if you wanted Kinzo to come down for dinner, you could have led with that. Like, his granddaughter met up with Beatrice.
僕じゃないよ。マリア様はゲストハウスにいると思ってたくらいだからね。バトラ様が最初に見つけられた時にはもう白い傘をお持ちだった。
申し訳ないが、それは私でもない。
じゃあ、まさか、親方様でしょうか。
Everyone in both the dining hall and the place where they were standing now had stated that it wasn't them, which meant that only Kinzo was left, but...
何かのご用で廊下を歩かれているとき、偶然バラ庭園に傘もささないマリア様が見えたとか。
親方様はマリア様のことをあまりお好きではない。
同感だね。親方様がマリア様のために直々に開花までお越しになって傘をお持ちくださるとは考えられないよ。
あら、困りましたわね。では、マリア様に傘をお貸しになられたのは、本当にベアトリーチェ様ってことに？
Kumasawa is really chill about all this too. Even joking about it. I thought she'd be freaked out. Kumasawa laughed just like the relatives in the dining hall had laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, the crisp sound of hands clapping twice rang through the hallway. They all turned around at once to see that it was Goda who was coming out of the dining hall.
さあさあ皆さん、ディナーは配膳のタイミングも大事です。すぐにスープの配膳に取り掛かってください。源氏さん、彼女らは大切なお仕事中ですので、お引き止めになられないでください。
Kanon glared at Goda for being rude to Genji, a person Kanon respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Kanon once on the shoulder as if to warn him. Kanon reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal.
ゴーダの指示に従いなさい。今は晩餐の配膳を急ぐように。
ほらほら、時間がありません。タラタラしない。急ぎますよ。
Goda grabbed the serving cart from Shannon and drove it past her, heading towards the kitchen at pace.
では、私どもも厨房に戻らせていただきます。ゴーダさんも気の短い方ですからね。
私もこれで失礼いたします。
Kumasawa and Shannon left. Only Genji and Kanon remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen, along with the occasional thunderbolt.
源氏様、ベアトリーチェ様が本当にお戻り。
わからん。
親方様にお知らせしますか。
せずともよい。本当にお戻りになられたなら、やがておのずと親方様の前へ現れよう。
So they're aware of Beatrice.
それに、あれは気まぐれなお方。親方様にご報告申し上げたところで、お姿を現されないことには何の意味もない。
親方様の儀式はすでに始まっているということでしょうか。
おそらく。だがそれは我ら家具には何の関わりもないこと。親方様に受けたご恩を最後の瞬間までお返しするのみだ。
はい、それが僕たち家具の務めです。
Wow, they are so set on losing their lives, or risking it for their master. Thunder crashed once more. Except for that instant when the lightning lit up the sky, all that could be seen out of the window was the darkness of the night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, the time when the sun is down is ruled by those that are not human. The darkness of night that now surrounded Rokenjima was ruled not by the Ushiromiya family, but by another master. Did this master take pity on Maria when she was alone and pummeled by the rain in the rose garden, and lent her an umbrella? Kanon looked at the rose garden lights, dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights were not enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch, and Kanon forcibly averted his gaze. If he didn't, it felt like his eyes would be absorbed by the light. Perhaps the weather was also a factor. You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been making periodic attempts to clear the gloomy atmosphere. Any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply buried by the sound of the rain. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake accompanied by pear sherbet. Goda-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as if delivering the coup de grace, but I quickly forgot the details. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent, the weather was horrible, and the person who had lent Maria an umbrella was still a mystery. When dinner ended, no one felt even one bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that taste wasn't the only important part of the meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goda-san, the supposed conductor of this performance called dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but it seemed they didn't quite get there. After taking orders for after dinner, coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Kraus spoke.
やれやれ。せっかくゴーダが腕を振るってくれた晩餐も、こうも沈み込んでしまっては実に味気ないというものだ。
Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. We are nearly there with possibly seeing Beatrice for the first time. I'm actually looking forward to it. The suspense is actually killing me right now, and I'm excited. So if anything else, we'll continue on in the next one. Thank you all for watching.